Be sure to subscribe to our channel today. Welcome to the Wealthy Wednesday show. I am your host, Luci McMonagle. Women are recreating the rules for business, leadership, money, and they are changing the world in the process. Each week, join me for empowering messages and interviews that will inspire, motivate, and transform you. Giving a special shout out to Gordon Weary for creating the custom music that you are listening to now. Now, let's get started. Hey, welcome to another edition of the Wealthy Wednesday show. This is your host, Luci McMonagle, and today I have an incredible guest. Her name is Midori Verity, and she is a speaker, she's an author, she's a serial entrepreneur, and she's a kick-ass marriage coach. So she's considered by many the top expert for online marriage coaching. Now, ladies, I understand you might be an entrepreneur, but this is going to help you in all of your relationships, not just your marriage. So please grab a pen, grab a paper, and listen in. And make sure you share the Wealthy Wednesday show with your friends, with other individuals. And if you're listening to us on the YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button so that you can be updated on all of the episodes. So let's get back a little bit about Midori. She and her husband have been happily married for almost 30 years, and she has a degree in communications and sociology from the University of California. Before I continue more on, I'll let you explain more about you, but welcome to the Wealthy Wednesday show.
Thank you for having me, Lucy. I'm super happy to be here.
Wow, Midori, you are such an incredible success story in not only your personal life, not only in your marriage, but also in your professional life so that you can reach out and really help individuals. And you help involve partners for greater success, and you also help women entrepreneurs to have greater success with their partners. Can you tell us a little bit about you and how you got to be this kick-ass marriage coach and a serial entrepreneur?
How did I do all this crazy stuff? What am I doing here?
Yes.
Okay, so, it's kind of funny. My husband and I, when we first graduated college, we were in a recession at that time. And so we're kind of like, okay, what are we going to do? I know, let's start a business. So we started our first business straight out of college. And that was when we both got bit by the entrepreneurial bug. So that was about 25 years ago when we started our first business. And since then, we've started several others. But I did get to a point when I hit what I consider my midlife. And I woke up on my birthday feeling like just kind of overall poop. Just, I remembered waking up and thinking, wow, I don't want to get out of bed today. I'm super depressed. I'm super sad. And it was just like kind of this gloomy, dark, heavy feeling. And I wasn't exactly sure what was going on. It took me a little while to figure it out, but through a lot of soul searching and a lot of thinking and introspectiveness, I realized that I just wasn't happy with where I had brought myself to at that point. I wasn't living my quote unquote my why. I wasn't living the choices that I was making and the career path that I was on wasn't aligning with who I wanted to be. So I was having that struggle, which I see, now that I've been in this world for a while, I see so many suffering from that, suffering from kind of this detachment where something just doesn't feel right. And anyway, this went on for about 6 months where I just felt depressed. I didn't know how to get out. I didn't know who to turn to. I was very private. Nobody knew, including my husband. And I realized it was going to be up to me to find my way out. And through a lot of soul searching, through a lot of just studying and looking at all the thought leaders that I respected the most and just really doing a lot of research, I realized that I needed to take some massive steps to change my path and get fear out of my way, because that's what was holding me back. So I did, and took a lot of steps to figure out my why, what made my heart sing, where I was, my zone of genius, what I was intrinsically good at, what came easy for me, and what path I wanted to go on for the next stage of my life. And that's what brought me to becoming a relationship coach. And that's why I am here with you today, Lucy. That was kind of a long story short, but that's really what brought me to where I am now.
And that is so important because you already had a successful business and you woke up and you started feeling that depression and that gnawing feeling. And I'm sure almost all of the entrepreneurs who are listening to this, either they've had a little bit of that, or they're in it, or they might be bumping into it. And there's something about really finding your why. What drives you to do what you're doing? And this also translates over into relationship and into your life. And for you, finding your why, did it help you find more balance in your relationship, in your career? Or how did finding your why and creating this coaching business help you to move forward in your business? And how can that help the individuals that are listening to us?
Yeah, it was a huge pivotal point, but finding my why, finding that core of who I was and what made my heart sing and what made me really feel good. For any entrepreneur, anyone who really just wants to step out from where they are and change their path and make some massive changes, it's important to find this, because you asked me if it brings balance. I don't know about balance. I'm not a person who is all about balance, quite honestly. But it did help me in those points where I felt like, holy cow, I am running up to a lot of brick walls. Money is not coming in. I have tried A through Z and nothing is working. I don't know what else to do. And all I want to do is just throw myself on the ground and cry. So sometimes I did do that. I did throw myself on the ground and cry. However, because what I was doing was aligning with what I believed in so importantly, I could push through. And that's why it's so important for people when they're choosing a new path or choosing a new business to start. When it's in alignment with you, it makes it so much easier to get through. Not easier, but it helps you to push through those tough times, and it makes it so much more rewarding because you know that you're doing what you really want to do and what's right, what feels right for you. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. And was there little steps, little baby steps, little tricks that you did for yourself on getting closer to that alignment?
Mm-hmm. I've become a super total nerdy geek when it comes to neuroscience, which is just kind of this whole brain thing and how we can really change those recordings in our mind. And that's what worked for me. And so it wasn't that it was necessarily just baby steps, but it felt like baby steps. It felt easy by just making little changes in the way that I thought, my thought patterns. And I know for a lot of us who have learned to become successful, this is huge. And let me just go back a little bit to where I am today. And Lucy, you know this.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Northern California, and right now we are going through a huge fire. I live in what's called the Larkfield area, and our home is threatened. We were woken up at 1 a.m. to leave, and our other business, our big business is right there. And we could lose everything. We could lose our home. We can lose our business. We can lose everything. But because I have done so much positive thinking and changing the recordings in my head and the way that I respond to difficulties and challenges and disaster, what some people think is devastating disasters, I'm able to get through this. And I'm here. I have no makeup. I am in someone else's home. And it's okay. I don't care. If I lose my home, I'm okay because all my friends are safe and my husband is safe and my family is safe. And so this is the change. Had this happened to me 8 years ago, before I went through all these changes, I would be a complete mess. So that is the power of being in alignment. And that is the power of changing the thought processes in your mind, those recordings that we have, that subconscious reaction that we make, and replacing it with things that serve you better. It is so powerful, and it gets you to where you want to be, and it makes it so it's not so scary to get there. So when you ask me, going back to your original question, are there little baby steps that you can take? I would say the number one thing that you can do for yourself, for anyone, is to learn how to do positive reinforcement and changing those thought patterns and really learning some of the tools to become a new you, a better you that serves you better.
Oh,
Does that make sense? Because that
that,
really was the pivotal point for me.
yes, that makes a lot of sense. And when you say learn these tools, can you elaborate a little bit on what tools would the individuals be looking for to learn these new patterns, these new belief systems, and these new thought forms?
There are so many, but let me just give an easy one. One of them is positive affirmations, or I am statements.
Mm,
And they're really, really powerful. And it's what it is. Let me just tell the audience a little bit about how this works. Through our lives, we have come up with sayings about ourselves. So maybe we didn't do well in math when we were in third grade. So therefore, we believe that we are not good at math from then on. But that might not be the case. Or someone saw one of your paintings when you were a little girl or boy, and they said, wow, that's terrible. So then you think that you're not artistic, right? These are patterns that we develop. These are truths that we believe in our head that we can change. So when I talk about positive affirmations and I am statements, that's where you change it. And it's really cool because it's almost like magic. So how this works is you think of and write it down, the things that you want to change, the things that you believe about yourself that aren't serving you. So maybe it's that you feel like you can never be wealthy, or that you can never live in a nice home, or you can't ever have a healthy, supportive, loving relationship, or that you can't be fit. There's so many things that I hear from my clients all the time, but it can all change. You can change the way that you really believe. So here's how it works. So let's say you want to change you've had bad relationships in the past and you want to really change that. So what you can say is, I am a strong person. That's number one. I am a person who has incredible love in their life, because this is the second part of it. I am an incredible person who has a lot of love in their life because I am a wonderful person. That's the second part of it. So breaking this down, and this is important, and I hope you guys have a pencil and paper, because it's important to know how to do this correctly. You start with I am. You make it into the present tense, not the future, not in the past, in the present tense, as though you're already there, and you only use positive words. So don't use words like no, or diet, or anything that has any type of negative connotation, because your brain only hears it will delete that. So don't use those words, only use positive words. And the second part of it, you heard how I said, because I am X, Y, or Z. It's important for your brain to process that, because we are looking for, okay, so you said I am something, but your brain is going to ask you, well, why? So you got to give it that why. Right? So you say, because whatever it is, again, sticking with the same points that we just made. It has to be positive. It has to be present tense. It has to be something that you believe. So you write these out. What I did in the beginning, and actually I still do this, I pinned it to the inside of my medicine cabinet where I brush my teeth. So I would say it at least twice a day. 3 times a day is even better, but at least twice a day. So first thing in the morning, and then last thing before you go to bed. And you just repeat them, and you just keep saying them for at least 30 days. 21 days is what they say. I always say 30 days. And you do it religiously, and you'll start to see changes. And you'll start to believe these things that you're telling yourself. And man, it is so powerful, and it's such a gift to give to yourself. And until you do it, it's hard to believe that it really works. Lucy, have you done something like this before?
Yes, I have. And behind my camera on the wall, I have some affirmations. You can do anything. And then I have my title, The Mystic Wealth Creator. And I have a thank you card when I got my very first paid speaking gig. And so I'm looking at words and pictures and affirmations behind my camera. And every day when I'm at my desk, I just look up, and it just brings me back into the sense that I am wealthy. I am making a difference. I am creating a legacy because I'm helping other people create their legacies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's so powerful. And it helps push through those challenging times because it becomes your belief system. And anyone can do it. And it's free.
Yes.
So that's one big powerful thing.
And that's something that's really important, is there's so many individuals that believe that it has to be a struggle, it has to be difficult, it has to be almost nearly impossible in order to create these new changes, to be able to create the ability to start making a new life, a new business, or a new relationship. And both what you and I are saying is for us, and for many, many of the individuals that we've both worked with, using the I am statements and using the I am because statements is even duly powerful.
Yeah. So that's just a good place to start. There's so many other steps that go along with that or go after that.
Correct.
You build it up, but that is a really good place to start.
That's so true. And for you, some of the bigger things that you are creating is dreaming big to gain excitement, and also because you are a relationship coach, you like to work as a team with your partner. Can you tell us a little bit on dreaming big and gaining excitement? Because we started with the I am statements, and now we're going to start dreaming bigger and working as a team.
Yeah. So this is where it gets really exciting. I love this stuff. So dreaming big, when you're in a relationship, there's a lot of things that go into creating a long-term relationship. And one of them is so just think back when you've been in the beginning of a relationship and you're super excited and you just want to be together. And even though your partner may do things that are kind of gross or might be a little bit irritating normally, in the beginning, you're just like, this is Shangri-La and we're having so much fun and I love him and I can't wait to see him. And right?
Correct.
You've been there?
Yes.
So what's happening in your brain is that you are releasing things like endorphins, these chemicals in our brain, these love chemicals that create excitement, that create love. That's the oxytocin in our brain, but they're love chemicals and it's a real thing. Our body craves it. It's the same thing that happens for those who may have ever done cocaine. Some people, it's the same drug release that happens, and our body truly creates it. This is a fact. This is not just me making up things. It's a fact. So this is why I say dream big, because when you dream big and when you have that excitement, you're releasing those same drugs, not the same drugs, but the same chemicals in your brain. So that is why I say this. I'm creating a new lifestyle for people. I'm not just creating that Band-Aid. People don't come to me to learn new communication. I'm teaching people how to change the way they think, change the way they approach their life. So this can be something that goes on forever in their relationship and in their life. So that's the number one thing. The first step that you want to do is think big. What are some big, exciting goals that you and your partner can come up with, and just really kind of brainstorm them, write them all out. Do not critique what your partner says. Just let it flow, because it doesn't matter. And so you come up with all that, and you can write down as many as you want, have fun, have a glass of wine if that helps you, but just do it when you're in a good place, when you can relax, and just make this kind of a date. And it's a lot of fun. And then once you're done with that, go back and circle the ones that you have in common and that really kind of make both of you excited. Pick out one or two of them, write them down. And then the next step with that is you want to think about your zone of genius. What are you good at? And what I mean by this, Lucy, you are naturally intrinsically good with financial parts of it, the financial element.
Yes.
For me, I am really good at listening and talking to people and creating networks and relationships. That's where I shine. But don't come to me to be super organized, because that ain't my zone of genius. I have to hire out for that. So figure out what your zone of genius is. And then what you do is you figure out what the action steps need to be to get you there. And then you figure out what's my partner good at? What am I good at? And stay in your zones. Stay in your zones and figure out what your duties are going to be and what your partner's duties are. And then meet weekly, just like a business. Meet weekly to see where you are, to see if you're making your the points that you had wanted to make. And if you're running into struggles, figure out together ways that you can break through that. If you need to pivot, if it's time to pivot, if it's time to bring in someone else, if it's time to get some extra ideas from others or look on the internet, whatever it is. But when you're working together, you can accomplish so much more quicker. Things aren't as scary. It's more fun. It's more energizing, and you will create a synergy together. So that's kind of the foundation of creating a long-term relationship as far as the way that I work with my couples.
Wow. And that's so incredibly useful, because just doing that, and I'm envisioning starting small. Let's say you want to go on a European vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And so you both write down your big dreams and how does this look? How would this feel? How would this be? And then you write down who does best. If such as me, if I'm the best that's making the phone calls, looking on the doing the research, and he's the best at doing something else, then being able to balance that and moving forward. But you could also do this with your business. You can do this with your team players. You can do this with your other individuals. So it's not just a relationship. You can expand this and have fun, dreaming big and gaining that excitement towards the goals that you're working for. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And you hit it. And you mentioned, knowing what it feels like and what it looks like, and really thinking about. So there's a lot of elements that go into, we have a short interview. So, you can't go over everything, but it's important to know all of that. And so there's a lot of elements that go along with this, but we're just kind of covering the basics. But yeah, it can be definitely adapted to anything. If your dream is to start a new business, get out of whatever you're doing. I know a lot of people who are attorneys or doctors, and now they want to start a bicycle company. I have people come to me for all kinds of stuff, and so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter where you want to go. It just matters that you have the tools to get you there. And these are a few of the tools that you can use to help you accomplish your goals.
Exactly. So, wow, we are just about finished with this interview, and this has gone so fast. I just have one quick question again for you before we wrap it up. And you have this thing called the Love Bank. Can you briefly condense what is the Love Bank and how do people utilize it?
Yeah, so I have to be honest, it was not my concept. I didn't come up with the love bank, but I love the idea of it. And it's very simple. All it is when it comes to your relationship, think of it as a bank. And the more deposits you put in, the bigger your bank account grows, right? So think of it as your relationship. So the more positive things that you put into your relationship, when you go and you get your spouse a glass of wine because you know that they had a rough day, or you wash the dishes for them, even though that was kind of the agreement they would do the dishes that night, or you make dinner for them, or you help out here or there, whatever, you're putting deposits into your love bank. But just like a bank, you can also make withdrawals. And that's when you maybe get into an argument, when you say something that you regret later.
Mhm.
The concept is the more that you have invested into your bank account, when you have those withdrawals, they're going to be forgiven a little bit easier based on you doing more deposits, a lot strong, having a lot bigger and stronger deposits into the bank account. So that's really the whole concept of it. Just having that, being aware. So much of this is about awareness. And that's really what it is. It's just having that awareness um, of making those deposits. And also, more importantly, Lucy, this is what people forget, is that acknowledge when your partner is doing the deposits. Acknowledge that. That's so important. Tell them thank you and show them appreciation and gratitude for them making those deposits. However you want, the lingo that you want to use, it doesn't matter, but make sure that you acknowledge them for that.
Wow, I love that concept. Midori, this has been fabulous. Can you tell the individuals how to get a hold of you so that they can discover more about how you can help them create a kick-ass marriage and or how they can help create their entrepreneurship business?
Yeah, I would love to. I love working with couples, and I love that's why I like coming on shows like yours, Lucy, because
Mhm.
the people who are listening are go-getters
Yes.
and they want more. And that's where I can help them get to that whole new level. And it's so exciting for me. So a couple things, they can either go to my website, MidoriVerity.com, or feel free just to reach out directly to me and I will, I'll guide you where you need to go, but Midori at MidoriVerity.com. That easy.
That is easy. And I'm going to spell out the website for those who are listening to just the audio. It's MIDORI, as in victory, ERITY.com.
That's right.
Fabulous. Thank you, Midori, for being on the Wealthy Wednesday show. This has been fabulous. This has been really incredible. And thank you for all the tips and the strategies that you've given us. And I would like to thank my audience now. Thank you for listening to the Wealthy Wednesday show. It's because of you that I continuously have featured guests that bring you these beautiful tips, these strategies that can help you create a better business, a better life, a better relationship, better partnerships. So please remember, if you're listening to us on the YouTube channel, click on the subscribe button. Let us know how you would like us to send you information. You can go to my website at lucimcmonagle.com. That's LuciMcMonagle.com. I have some incredible free gifts for you. I also have articles each and every week to help you become more successful financially, spiritually, and in your life in general. So until next time, abundant blessings. Thank you for listening to the Wealthy Wednesday show. This is your host, Luci McMonagle. I am the Mystic Wealth Creator, a mentor for conscious women entrepreneurs, helping them create more freedom in their business through conscious wealth creation. I would love to extend to you a free gift. And all you need to do is go to my website at lucimcmonagle.com. That's LuciMcMonagle.com to get your free gift. So until next time, abundant blessings.